Hey everyone, and welcome back. You know the drill. We're diving deep, and this time it's into the world of resumes and cover letters.
Yeah, the stuff that can make or break your job search.
Exactly. So we've waded through a bunch of resources and experts, and we're going to try to break down the most important stuff.
What really works, what doesn't, how to stand out in that pile of applications, you know?
Right. The goal is to help you all make those resumes and cover letters seriously powerful tools, because that's what they are, tools.
100%. And I think that's the first big takeaway from all this material we looked at. It's like so easy to think of resumes and cover letters as just like these annoying things you have to do.
Oh, for sure.
Like just check the box, right? But there's so much more than that. Like they are your marketing tools. It's how you're presenting yourself, your skills, your experience to potential employers.
So true. Okay, so let's break that down a bit. When you say marketing tool, what does that actually mean? Like when I'm sitting down to write my resume, what should I be thinking about?
Okay, well, first you got to shift your perspective a little. Instead of just listing out every job you've had and what you did, you got to think like a marketer. What is the employer looking for? What problem are they trying to solve by hiring someone?
Oh, I see.
And then your resume, that's got to be the solution. It has to show them that you're the answer to their problem, like right up front.
So you're saying it's not really about just telling your career story chronologically. It's about tailoring it to what that specific employer wants to hear.
You got it. And you got to do it fast. Because one of the craziest things we found is that a lot of recruiters only spend like 10 seconds looking at a resume the first time through. 10 seconds to decide if it's even worth a closer look.
Wow, 10 seconds. That's like nothing.
Right. So you're really going to make those first few lines count.
Okay, so forget the 10-page like story. We got to get right to the point. What are the things that really make a resume pop in those 10 seconds?
Yeah.
Besides just listing your job titles, I mean.
Well, from what all these experts say, there are a few key things. Number one, you got to show how your skills and experience match up with the specific job you're applying for. And I don't mean just saying, oh, yeah, I'm a team player. You know, like everyone puts that.
Right. Yeah.
You have to give specific examples. Did you lead a team project? Did you come up with a new system that improved workflow?
Show, don't tell.
Exactly. And talk about concrete achievements. Like, did you win any awards? Did you get promoted? Did you save the company money or bring in new customers? Numbers are your friend here.
Okay, so instead of responsible for customer service, I should say something like increased customer retention rates by 15%.
Boom. That's what I'm talking about. And then if you're in a competitive field, relevant industry experience is huge. So if you've worked in the same industry before, make sure that's front and center.
Makes sense. And what about people who are just starting out, like recent grads? What should they focus on?
Well, if you don't have a ton of work experience yet, then your education is key. Highlight your degree, any relevant coursework, maybe some extracurriculars that show off your skills.
It's all about showing your value, right? Like selling yourself, as one of the articles put it, which is kind of harsh, but I get it.
Yeah, no, it's true. You got to think of yourself as the product.
So what are some of the best sales tactics to use on a resume?
Okay, so one of the big ones is using keywords. You know how companies use those ATS systems to scan resumes?
Applicant tracking systems.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're basically robots looking for specific words.
Right, so you got to make sure your resume has the same keywords that are in the job description. That's how you get past the robots and into the hands of a real person.
Like literally copy and paste from the job ad.
Not copy and paste exactly, but like make sure you're using the same language, the same terms.
Got it. Speak their language. What else?
Keep it short. 2 pages max for most jobs. No one wants to read a novel. And this one seems obvious, but people mess it up all the time. Proofread. 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 Typos and grammar errors are like instant red flags.
It's like you didn't even care enough to check.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered the resume basics. Now, what about the cover letter? Do people even still read those?
Ah, the cover letter debate. Honestly, it's kind of a mixed bag out there. Some people say they're useless, others swear by them.
Yeah, I've heard both sides.
But from what we've seen in the research, most experts still say a good cover letter can make a big difference. It's your chance to make a first impression, to introduce yourself before they even look at your resume.
To add some personality, show them you're not just a list of skills.
Exactly. One of the articles called it a verbal handshake, which I thought was a really good way to put it.
I like that. So if the resume is like the data sheet, the cover letter is the friendly introduction.
Right. So how do you write a good cover letter? First, personalize it. Find out the hiring manager's name and address it to them directly. None of that "to whom it may concern" stuff.
Ugh, so impersonal.
Right. And keep it brief. 1 page, just like the resume. No one has time for a novel.
Okay, one page, clear and concise. What about the content? What should I actually be saying in this cover letter?
You got to tell them why you want to work for that company and in that specific role. And don't just repeat what's on your resume. Expand on one or two key achievements and explain how those experiences make you a good fit for what they're looking for.
Show them you've done your research, that you're not just mass applying everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Enthusiasm goes a long way.
Okay, so cover letter. Personalized, concise, enthusiastic, and really tailored to the specific job.
Got it. Now, what about our online presence? LinkedIn and all that. How does that fit into the mix? Oh, that's huge these days, especially LinkedIn. Think of it as like an extension of your resume. You can go into more detail about your experience, showcase recommendations from other people, and connect with people in your field.
So it's like a more interactive resume.
Kind of.
Oh.
And a lot of recruiters will definitely check out your LinkedIn profile, so make sure it's up to date and matches the information on your resume.
So it's like a backup, a way to verify what you're saying.
Pretty much. But it's not just LinkedIn. You got to be careful about your other social media, too. A lot of employers will look at your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, to get a sense of who you are.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I do that too.
Right. So just make sure your online presence is something you're comfortable with a potential employer seeing.
Keep it professional, or at least private.
Exactly.
Okay, so to sum up everything we've talked about for our listeners, what are the key takeaways? The things they should do right now to improve their resumes and cover letters.
All right. Number one, upgrade that resume. Focus on concrete achievements, tailor it to each specific job you apply for, and use those keywords we talked about.
Keywords: concise, error-free. Check.
2, write a killer cover letter, personalized, one-page max, and really explain why you're the perfect person for that specific job.
Sell yourself.
Yes. And 3, polish your online presence. Make sure your LinkedIn is awesome and your other social media won't scare away potential employers.
Sounds like a plan. And it really reinforces the idea that these documents are not just formalities. They're tools you can use to make yourself stand out and get that dream job.
Absolutely, if you use them right.
So as you're working on your resume, I want you to think about this. What is the one thing you want a recruiter to see in those first 10 seconds?
Yeah, good question.
What's going to make them stop and actually read the whole thing?
Right.
What's your biggest strength? What's your unique selling point? Figure that out and put it front and center. And hey, if you found this deep dive helpful, stick around, because next time we're going to be taking an even closer look at different resume formats.
Yeah, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of how to structure your resume to make the biggest impact.
So stay tuned for that. Until then, happy job hunting.
Good luck out there.